We've all seen them while scrolling online, right? Those super bold, really compelling health presentations that promise to practically turn back the clock. Well, today's explainer is all about pulling back the marketing curtain to examine the exact anatomy of one of these claims. We're going to systematically deconstruct the sales material and the biological mechanics presented for a dietary supplement called Circo-2. Now, to be clear, we are not here to endorse this product, and we're not here to debunk it either. We just want to unpack exactly how this presentation constructs its argument, deploys its science, and ultimately makes its pitch directly to you, the consumer. Let's get into it. So we've got a clear four-part roadmap for today's explainer. First, the nitric oxide problem. Second, the MIT breakthrough claim. Third, breaking down the ingredients. And finally, number 4, the promises and guarantees. All right, kicking things off with section 1, the nitric oxide problem, the youth molecule decline. The marketing text really sets the stage by introducing nitric oxide as the youth molecule. It's basically framed as this crucial master key that your body uses to keep blood vessels wide open, ensure oxygen is flowing freely, and keep your brain firing on all cylinders. And by defining it this way, the presentation cleverly transforms what is essentially a complex biological chemical into a highly accessible, incredibly desirable asset for youthful vitality. But here is where the narrative introduces some intense urgency. The presentation claims that as we age, our nitric oxide levels don't just dip, they drop off an absolute cliff. They assert that by age 70, your levels plummet by a whopping 75%. And by age 80, they claim those levels are down by 85% compared to your baseline. So the story quickly shifts here from a basic biology lesson to a ticking clock, really suggesting that your body is suddenly just starving for vital oxygen and nutrients. To make those dramatic data points feel deeply personal, the presentation strings together a very specific set of symptoms. They target physical limitations, like fatigue that literally stops you in your tracks, blood pressure concerns, joint discomfort, cold hands and feet. But they also smartly tap into mental and emotional fears too. They cite reduced intimacy and those frustrating memory lapses they casually label as senior moments. It's a wide psychological net, right? It's completely designed to intimately link a chemical decline to the everyday struggles of aging. Moving on to section 2, the MIT breakthrough claim, why typical pills fail. So to successfully sell a new solution, a presentation first has to explain why everything else you've tried inherently fails. The text claims that standard L-arginine supplements lose up to 75% of their potency during digestion, and that bodies over age 45 actually struggle to process them anyway. And sure, they note beet juice works, but you'd have to chug like 2 to 3 pounds of it every single day. No thanks. Instead, they introduced the Circo-2 method, which features a rather bizarre and honestly fascinating twist. It bypasses the gut completely and relies entirely on the bacteria in your mouth. The presentation refers to this mechanism as an MIT breakthrough, detailing a 3-step physiological cause and effect story. Step 1, a fast-dissolving lozenge is placed directly on the tongue. Step 2, the natural bacteria already present in your mouth go to work, actively converting the nitrates in that lozenge into nitric oxide. And step 3, this production kickstarts immediately, absorbing directly into your system long before the harsh acids of your stomach can destroy it. To validate this delivery method, the source highlights a very specific clinical testing claim. They state this oral lozenge method jumps nitric oxide levels by 200% and increases blood flow by a staggering 34% in just 20 minutes. And that 20-minute time frame is definitely no accident. In the anatomy of a marketing pitch, highlighting instant gratification is a classic conversion tactic. It's totally designed to stand out against traditional supplements that might take weeks to show any perceived effect. All right, let's look at section 3, breaking down the ingredients, the core formula. The promotional text builds its case on 3 primary energy-enhancing ingredients. First up is beetroot powder, which they claim provides Olympic-level stamina thanks to natural nitrates that open up blood vessels. Second is hawthorn berry. This is framed as an absorption booster to squeeze maximum nitric oxide out of every single dose. And third is L-citrulline, which the source insists is vastly superior to L-arginine for converting into nitric oxide, specifically if you happen to be over the age of 45. But an effective pitch rarely relies on just one quick fix, right? It sells a comprehensive system. So the presentation outlines a supporting cost of nutrients designed to multiply the core effects. Vitamin B12 is included because, as the text notes, up to 30% of adults over 50 become deficient, so adding it purportedly boosts energy and nerve health. Vitamin C acts as a stated catalyst to protect your existing nitric oxide from oxidative damage, and magnesium is listed for its ability to relax blood vessels and keep heart rhythms regulated.
Which brings us to Section 4, Promises and Guarantees, the consumer offer.
With the problem defined and the science explained, the promotional text casts a massive net of promised real-world transformations. They claim users will experience renewed energy to crush afternoon fatigue, sharper thinking and recall, healthier blood pressure readings, enhanced joint mobility, improved intimacy, and far more restful sleep. It is a rapid-fire, really comprehensive list engineered to present this single supplement as a total life overhaul. To anchor those broad fixes-everything promises, the presentation deploys specific customer testimonials. They feature a bold quote from a user named Merlin K., who enthusiastically states his blood pressure dropped from 140/80 down to 110/68. However, keeping our objective lens here, we absolutely have to note the quiet but required fine print at the bottom of the page. It states these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, the product is not intended to cure disease, and those individual results are explicitly not typical. Trust is further established through medical endorsements. The presentation heavily features Dr. Greg Eckel, leveraging his 23-plus years of experience as a naturopathic physician, as well as his major TV network appearances. Yet again, though, a standard but crucial piece of this marketing anatomy is found in the disclaimer at the very bottom of the source text. It openly notes that Dr. Eckel is financially compensated by the parent company, Advanced Bionutritionals, for his endorsement. Finally, the presentation closes with the financial offer. The pricing structure strategically incentivizes bulk buying. One box is $49.95, but the price drops significantly if you commit to 3 or 6 boxes at once. To clear the final hurdle and get you to actually click buy, they use a classic psychological tool known as risk reversal. They offer a 90-day, down to the last lozenge guarantee, stating you can return completely empty boxes for a full refund. This effectively removes the consumer's fear of wasting their money. Now, a detail tucked away in the source's own FAQ section sparks a genuinely fascinating thought to leave you with. The presentation claims that the bacteria on your tongue are the absolute essential first step for converting these nitrates into nitric oxide. It really makes you wonder, if oral bacteria are actually that crucial to our vascular function, how might our daily routines, like using standard bacteria-killing antiseptic mouthwashes or fluoride toothpastes, be silently affecting our body's cellular health and oxygen flow? Think about that for a minute.